Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone that's looking to level up their life from their current situation. This show is dedicated to help raising the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, joy, and connection of what high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is what we do. And being a great fucking person is who we are. And living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how our mind is the foundation of everything you want to create within your life. It's actually the first of the 5 to thrive pillars of the Live Wide Open framework. I stopped and paused on that for a second, but yes, it is the first out of the 5 to thrive framework of the Live Your Life Wide Open movement. And so if you follow me on social media, it's probably not difficult to see that I love quotes. I'm big into quotes. I actually post pretty much a different one daily, as it seems. And it's actually, I do it to be a source of inspiration for others. And quite contrary to what others might think, I actually do it also to inspire myself, also to create drive for myself, to help me stay active and stay positive and stay looking forward to crushing it. And actually, one of my all-time favorite quotes is from Napoleon Hill. And it goes, whatever the mind can achieve, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And the first time I saw that quote, it was printed on a piece of paper. And it was printed on a piece of paper at work when I got it there. And I paused because it just took me back to that time. And then since that, and I'll tell you more about that story, but since I became so fond of that quote, I've put it up on my vision board, and it's been on my vision board for years. But let's go back to that story. When I first started as an intern, during my construction days, when I walked in and they assigned me to the cubicle that I was supposed to be in, I went and I sat down and I look up and I see this quote: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And that was the first time I had ever seen that quote. And like, little did I know, I would read it every single day and I would use it to create the belief within myself that I was going to make it to one of those high executive positions out there. Even though I was just an intern and I had no work experience in the construction industry, I knew that I would make it up there. And that quote right there, seeing it every day, inspired me to work harder than I ever had been, to put in the daily effort, to believe that it was possible, and to keep going no matter how many times I fell down. Like, I didn't care that I was a rookie. I actually thrived on that shit. You'll probably hear me say this a lot throughout my journey here. I love being the underdog. Like, I use it to fuel me and to fuel the desire of becoming better every day, and to show others that just because you're the underdog doesn't mean that you're going to come out on top. Like, I use that to fuel the desire that I had to become a high earner within that industry. And I went from being an intern, as I was just starting that story, to an estimator. Then from an estimator to a project engineer. Then from a project engineer to an assistant project manager. And from an assistant project manager to a project manager slash superintendent. And then from a project manager slash superintendent to the lead project manager. And then from being the lead project manager to being the operations manager. And I did that all within a span of a decade. Like, I chose to believe that I was worthy, and thinking that I was worthy drove me to put in whatever fucking work was necessary to achieve the results that I was after. Like, no doubt it was not easy. But man, it was fucking worth it. And the foundation of it all was in here, in my mind. Like, it truly is. And it is the foundation for anything that you want to create in your life. And I'm convinced that I am the man that I am today, right here, sitting here in this camera, filming this video. I am convinced that this dude right here has overcome all the fucking challenges that have been thrown my way, all the hardships, all the traumas, all the shit that has happened to me, all the things that I've been able to overcome, changing my life around, going from a fucking complete dirtbag to a high construction professional top earner, to pivoting and becoming a high performance coach to help others improve. I'm convinced that all this shit has happened so that I can sit right here and I can show you how much we can endure as human beings and how much we can still come out on top no matter how our fucking past looks like, no matter what we've gone through. Like, the mind is the foundation of creating the life that you want, because whether you think you can or you think you can or you think you can't, guess what, my friends? You're right. You see, the mind is like any other muscle within our bodies. And if you want the mind to grow, we must exercise it. It's kind of like putting gasoline in your car. Like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So let me elaborate on that a little more. If you put gas in your car and you let it sit there, parked, not using it for several months, that fuel, that gasoline is going to go bad. And it's going to actually cause your engine to run like shit. The crazy part and the most incredible thing, though, about the mind is that it doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's actually happening in your life versus what you vividly imagine. So, like, if you can grasp this concept here for a second, if you can take it in, because I want you to use this to your advantage, like, you can grasp that, it's going to help you majorly in your life. And so, like, if you can envision the life that you want, the impact that you want to make, if you can feel it inside of you, if you can feel how it's going to be when you achieve it, how you're going to act, how you're going to feel, how you're going to vibrate, like, that is the key that sets things in motion. Like, to see it, to believe it, to envision it, and to feel it like it's actually happening in your life right now. Those are the things that your mind, you'll start putting in motion, and that it won't know the difference between if it's actually happening right now, or if it's actually happening in your mind, or if it's actually happening in the future. You're going to all start bringing it towards you. And so by doing this exercise that I'm telling you right now, of envisioning, of feeling it, of putting into motion, and using your mind as the foundation to creating the life that you want, mixed with daily actions, and you have to have the daily actions, because, man, I don't want you to take things the wrong way. You have to take action. You ain't going to get shit by just sitting on the couch. But if you mix that, the envisioning, the mindset, the putting into action, and you put some faith behind it, God, the universe, the energies, the frequencies, whatever you believe in, they will all start aligning it for you. Yeah, and I'm going to say this because you're probably saying right now, man, Randy, that sounds like some woo-woo-y, like, type of shit that you're saying right now. The reason why I'm saying that is because I used to say that too. Like, I was the guy who was always like, man, that shit don't work. Like, but I was also the guy that was doing those same tasks that I just mentioned, and I wasn't even aware that I was actually doing it. Like, here's an example, and I've talked about this in a previous episode. When I was a kid, even as a grown man, I love riding motorcycles. But as a kid, I had an imaginary motorcycle. And I would kickstart that thing, I would rev it, I would ride it all around my house, I would make noises. Wherever I went, I had my motorcycle. And it wasn't long before my first motorcycle showed up. And then another one. And then another one. And then another one. And they just kept showing up in my life, even as a grown adult, because I passionately ride the fuck out of every single one I have. It's just something I put in motion, something that it's in me, and I will always have motorcycles. Now, here's another example. When I built my first high rise, like, I remember pulling up to the site. I had never built something like this before as the lead. And I remember pulling up to the site on my truck, and it was empty. It was only grass there. And man, and I would sit there and I would envision all the steps that it would take to bring this massive structure up to life. Like, I would envision how would it feel like pulling up to that site and seeing hundreds of men working there, all trying to achieve this common goal, like overcoming any challenge that came our way. And the fact that on that same job that I'm talking about, we actually did have many of the not so common construction challenges come our way, but we still finished on time. We still finished within budget. It was a freaking miracle, but we got it done. Why? Because we put in the work. But envisioning it all set the foundation for me as the leader to do the unimaginable and help my team achieve greatness. Like back then, I wasn't even to many. I wasn't even, and I paused there because I kind of smirked because, excuse me, if I was, that's why you evolve and as you grow older, you learn more. But man, if I were to implement so many of the things that I do now back then, I smirked because I would have been killing it so much more. But back then, I wasn't even involved into doing the things that I do now. Like I didn't meditate, I didn't read no personal development books. Man, I barely even worked out back then. But the primary thing that I did back then, and I always had it, was that I had a huge positive self-talk routine every single day. Like before every meeting, before every talk, before every presentation, before anything that I was doing, I was literally coaching myself in my mind, priming myself for greatness that we were about to put up. And so I would tell myself like things like, "You got this, Randy. Like you're capable of doing this, Randy. You have what it takes, Randy. You didn't come this far to only come this far, Randy. You might be the underdog, but that shit fuels us. Like we will never fucking give up." I was like literally my own freaking hype man. And but why am I telling you all this? Like there's a reason to this. Well, I'm telling you this because I want you to give it a try. Like I want you to start implementing some of this into your life. I want you to prime yourself for the things that you want. And that's no wishy-washy woo-woo type of fucking bullshit. Like this shit really works. And let me give you another example. And if you're a gearhead, which I hope you are, if you're watching this, this is gonna resonate with you. Like you remember back with the old school engines that you had that little black ball in the fuel system, and you would squeeze it, and you would squeeze it to get gas up into the engine. But if you didn't squeeze it, in other words, prime the fuel to get into the engine, then the engine wouldn't start. Like it just wouldn't. Well, that's exactly what we're doing by priming our minds. An example, the black ball squeezing and getting the fuel to the engine. But when you when you think about the things that you want to create in your life, you're literally priming your mind to bring them into existence so that you can work your ass off and go get them. It literally is the foundation to creating the life that you want. It's literally the foundation to creating all the goals that you want. It's literally the foundation to creating your dream life. And everything that you want out of this life, it all starts right here, my friend. Every big invention that you ever see out there, it all started in someone's mind. Then they took action to create it and make it happen. So what do you have to lose? Like, really, what do you have to lose by trying this? Like, it works. You could see it all around. It doesn't take much. You could research any freaking person out there that's about helping others improve. And mindset is one of the biggest things in business and everything. Mindset is always first. Because if you don't believe it, you will not achieve it. And so I got to warn you though, because I always like to be truthful, that this shit is not going to happen overnight. Like you have to develop a consistent routine with it, and you got to be willing to take the action, because without the action, nothing is going to happen. You can't just sit on the couch and think it all and feel it and think it's going to all happen and magically then it all happens. Nah, that's not what I'm about. That's not the truth. You actually got to be willing to put in the work. And for those of you that are still not convinced, working on your mind is crucial for anything, for anyone who's aiming to achieve high performance in any field, not just motorsports, in anything. If you want to be a high performer, it's the foundation to creating everything that you want. Like if you want an enhanced focus and concentration, well, regular mental exercises like meditating will really significantly improve your ability to focus without being distracted. Like, man, I feel like anytime I see something, squirrel, like I get really distracted. And that's something that I've had to grow up with. But meditating, I'm like over 14,000 minutes meditating in. And that shit has helped me create focus like you wouldn't believe it. Who doesn't want more focus in their life? Like, especially for long periods of time that you can put out quality work that will set you far ahead than you think it will. It improves your decision-making skills also. Like, in a well-trained mind, can process information more efficiently and make better decisions based on logic rather than impulse. Because making decisions out of power, deep inside, instead of out of fear, oh, I don't know, those are the ones that are going to be fucking be crucial, especially in high pressure situations. Like I have never made, maybe never, but very rarely have I ever made a decision out of power that didn't align with what I was trying to achieve. It's quite contrary. The decisions that you make out of fear, like, oh, I don't know, they usually always end up being the fucking wrong ones. Excuse me, let me take a quick sip here. If you want to have greater efficiency in your life, then start working on your mind. And like here's also another example. Like a well-organized mind is going to lead you to improve your time management skills. And having better time management skills is going to help you prioritize the tasks that you actually need to do so you can accomplish more, so you could do more. Because, like I said, actions are the things that are going to make you create the life that you want. You have to believe it, and then it gets followed by actions. But if you don't take the actions, you ain't going to create the life that you want. And there's one thing that I hate, though, and I'm going to throw this out there. We're talking about time management and improving and how setting yourself up to have improved time management skills really helps you go farther in life. But wasting time is one of the things that I fucking hate the most. Like I really do, because like if someone steals money from me, if you lose money, like you can always make it back. Money is a resource that you can always make it back. But time, when someone wastes your time, you can never get it back. Because it's one of those things that once it's gone, it's gone. There's no time machine that I know about. There's no things that you can go and redo the past. You once the time is used, it's gone. And so you've probably heard me say this in the past, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably continue saying it. The mind is the foundation for creating the life that you want. And working on building it every single day is what the Live Your Life Wide Open movement encourages you to do. Like it really does. We are high performers driven by personal excellence, and we will never fucking stop, ever. Wide open is the way. It's the way that we live our lives, man. And we are wide open warriors. We expand our minds daily, and we become the best version of ourselves so that we can be the best for our families, for our people, so that we can raise the bar, so that we could do more, so we could be more. It inspires me, and I hope I inspire you, and I hope I'm like turning some gears within your head to start believing that you can do it, because you can do anything that you want if you're willing to put in the time. And so aside from the mind, the body is actually the next phase of importance. Like in those two, the mind and the body, I've learned that they go hand in hand, man. But I'm going to leave you with this. Having a body that cannot perform well is like having an engine that has a misfire on one or two cylinders. Like that engine is going to run like shit. It's going to run like ass, and it's not going to produce any real horsepower. And who doesn't fucking like horsepower? Actually, if you're watching this and you don't like horsepower, then my friend, I'm sorry to tell you that you're probably in the wrong freaking place, because we love horsepower around here. Because we're driven individuals, man. And I'm fucking putting that checkered flag deep into the fucking ground right now. And I'm calling out all the more sport enthusiasts out there who want to improve their situation, who want to be more, who want to do more. Let's break free from all the fucking shit that's been holding us back. And let's give the world something to talk about. Let's give the world a reason to say, man, I wish I was like those fucking people. And so if you made it to the end of this episode, I want to say that you got yourself a win. And I appreciate you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked me with. We are driven individuals working towards becoming the best that we can be, and breaking the fucking stereotype that has been casted upon us is the mission that we're out to do. We're here to raise the bar. We're here to show others that we could do more, be more, live passionately, and live and do the things that we love. Join me on this journey as we help many, many, many motorsport enthusiasts out there create the best lives that we can imagine. That is the fucking mission. You can follow me on Instagram at WideOpenRandy. And man, if you had any connection, any type of vibes to this content that you just consumed, And it would really mean the world to me if you would share this episode with one of your friends. Or man, if you even take it a step further, if you want to post it on your story, that would really help, because those are the type of actions that help us spread the message. My friends, I'll catch you on the next episode. Till then, live life wide open. Peace.